Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and today I'm going to be swatching my grayish purple-ish inks. I have a selection of bottles and samples and kind of standard, maybe shading, sheening. I don't think there's any sheening, inks and shimmer. So I am going to do my shimmer towards the end. So I'm going to start with my non-shimmer inks, and I will start with the bottles. So the non-shimmer bottles I have currently are 4. I have Birmingham Pen Company Sterling Silver, Robert Auster Summer Storm, Robert Auster Polar Vortex, which is an Atlas Stationer exclusive, and the Sailor 50 States, New Hampshire. So starting with Birmingham, and Diatrus Document Ink Fog Gray. Almost forgot that one. I like to dab in the corner just to get a little bit of extra ink to see how it dries down. And then with the Takimori brass nib dip pen, based on the angle that you're holding it against the paper, you can get some line variation. So I like to do some lines just to show that off. This is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ink. It has a little bit of a blue to it. It has a purple to it. Has a gray to it. It is just absolutely gorgeous. I do have a cup of water right here and just a white t-shirt to dry. All right, and so next up, I will go ahead and do the Diatrus Document Ink Fog Gray. This is an archival ink, so this is one that once it dries down, it stays down. This might be a little bit on the blue side, but yeah, that's definitely on the very blue side. Let's see how it dries. It also seems to be very wet. Kind of like, no, it's really wet. That's very wet. I wonder if that's going to bleed through. Now this reminds me of an ink that I swatched previously, Noodler's 54th Massachusetts. It's almost too saturated, and it just really spreads out on the page, and it may even bleed through. So we shall keep an eye on that. Okay. Next up, let's do the Atlas Stationer's exclusive with Robert Auster, Polar Vortex. There we go. That's the gray. Gorgeous. I have a cup of bone broth here on the side that I almost just rinsed my Kakimori nib in. That would have been a big whoops. All right, next up, let's do Robert Auster, Summer Storm. Now that this has dried down, you can see that kind of purplish hue right there in the part where the ink pooled. And I've got some bone broth because we've got a little bit of a bug going in my home right now. It is some kind of a virus. My son spiked a fever about 5 days ago, and I think it's finally breaking today. And then I felt very off yesterday. But it is not COVID, it is not flu, it is not strep, it is a virus. Or it's pneumonia. I say casually. No, I'm pretty sure it's not pneumonia, but if in a couple of days my son is still sick, we will go for an x-ray, even though he is not junky. All right, so this is Sailor. "50 states. New Hampshire." I was talking with another YouTuber who I do know personally, Zen with a Pen, and we were discussing fancy ways to make cursive H's. So you, if you happen to be watching this, please know that every time I write an uppercase H, I now think of you, and I am dissatisfied. So working on it. All right, and the next two are samples. This one is Tono and Limbs, Trust You, which was a sample provided to me by a viewer. And this is a fascinating one where every different paper that I've used this on, it has been a different color. So it can be purple, it can be gray, it can be green. Tono and Limbs. Oh, and this one, it's coming up green, but it goes down purple. Well, for gray and purple ink page, this is all over. This is blue, this is purple, this is that is so green. Well, I went out on a limb with that one. All right, the next one is Wearing Goal Mind. Oops. I need my Inkapet to hold my ink sample. There we go. That is the exact color that I'm looking for in terms of a purple-ish or a grayish purple, purplish gray. Oop, I almost went for my bone broth again. Okay. What a collection of colors. All right, now we'll move on to the shimmers. So the first one is Ferris Press Blushing Mushroom. And this is a grayish purple with a rose gold or pink shimmer. I think it's actually more of a pink shimmer. And that's going down looking very gray. Blushing mushroom. Beautiful. Look at that. It's an absolutely gorgeous color. Okay, the next three are samples. So we're going to go with Wearing Goal McBeth. And that has kind of a light purple, silver colored shimmer, and not a lot, but it is down there. It's been sitting for a number of weeks without agitation, so it will take a moment to get it agitated. almost. Okay. This is a darker shade. It's kind of a little similar to Polar Vortex. And Go McBeth. I do find both Ferris Press and Wearing Go inks to be on the dry side. So what that would mean is you'd want to use them with a broader nib or a wetter nib. Another thing that you may want to consider is getting something, a lubricating agent such as Van Ness White Lightning to add to it, just to help it flow a lot better through your extra fine or fine nibs, if that is your choice. The next one is Colorverse Iris Nebula, and this is an ink from a monthly subscription box called Ink Flight by Ink Journal. Beautiful. All right. So again, it's that wonderful purplish gray color. And then the last sample that I have is Vinta Hairbone. Hairbone. Vinta inks. I've had samples in my collection for a year and a half, maybe a little bit more. And I didn't ever use my first Vinta in a pen until recently. And they are absolutely gorgeous colors, and the shimmer does seem to tend to clog it a little bit. So I would like to get to, the next time I use a Vinta ink, try a little bit of white lightning in it and see if that is helpful, because there are some absolutely gorgeous colors, such as this one. But you can even see how it comes off this nib. It's such a fine line, even when I have it angled at a lower degree. And that would support that it is a drier ink. All right, so I just a little bit on the blue side. So here are all of my, what I thought were grayish, purplish inks. The Tono and Limbs Trust You, as it has dried down, and specifically over here, you can see it's more purple, but on this swatch, the more green or sage is coming out. The Diatrus Document Ink Fog Gray is definitely a dark blue. I think in one of my other swatch books on some different paper, it came across a little bit more of that grayish purplish hint to it. But there's some really, I mean, I think the Robert Auster Polar Vortex, the Ferris Press Blushing Mushroom, Wearing Gold McBeth, Colorverse, Iris Nebula, Vinta, Hairbone. You can see some purple coming through in there. All of the, and even Wearing Gold Mine, these are all kind of really quintessential grayish purple. The Sailor 50 States came out much more purple than it has on other papers. So that's the other really fun thing about fountain pen ink is depending on the paper that you're using, it's going to change sometimes really drastically the way that the ink dries down and how it looks. So thank you for watching this swatching video. I appreciate the time you spent with me. If you enjoyed this content, please take a moment and subscribe so that you can see other videos that I post. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.